It's even, it's playable for Mikado, but nothing to say it should have a slight edge just by what we've seen really so far. Like a lot of members just don't seem to mind that.
Shiro, he's gonna go down. Jabs able to secure first blood here on the Nature's Prophet. Really just abusing the level 1 tag team timing, and of course the trains to block Shiro, so he just had no way out of there. Obviously a fantastic start already here for Jabs.
And that's what you have to see. You have to get aggressive in these lanes, especially this bot lane for the side of Talon. Suppress that Alchemist as long as you can. I mean, and as you said, you know, an Alchemist just turns every game into an Alchemist game when it does show up. There's still a lot of scaling for that here despite a slow start. Even up top though, 11's also copying it.
A lot of damage being dealt. He does have the stick charges, so he's going to be just fine, but this is still a rather aggressive lane. Like, Ollie just running them down with the Hammer of Purity, and 23 Savage can just follow up with the Wraith Fire Blast. Ollie might have a look for another opening, and you can see old 11. He does not feel safe in this top lane any longer. We'll be handing some tangos here from Planet, but it's not going to be the simplest lane. Like, they can just keep running him down. Another Hammer of Purity. And a lot of people underestimate how much damage that hammer does. It's pure damage. And let me tell you, John, at level 1, when the side of LGD in this offlane, when they're still level 1 themselves, even level 2, it's a lot of damage being bursted out here by Ollie.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I do like that old 11 does grab a healing creep, so he does have some way to play back and just kind of sustain in that lane up against the aggression that the side of Talon wants to pump out, but it is a lot slower than you want. The biggest issue right now for LGD is still this bot lane. Like, you're being shoved away pretty hard on Y. He's not able to apply as much pressure onto these heroes as you want. He's not able to really play with the orb walk, not able to just spam out the arcane curse until the last word. And that is just the one thing. Like, Alchemist can be aggressive with certain lane partners. Silencer can be one of them, but he's not being given the room to do so on Y. So you are giving a lot of opportunities for Jabs to just work this lane to his advantage and constantly farm up. Like this NP for Talon tends to go into that secondary core. Heck, tends to be the scaling core in the mid game, depending on how Savage's lane goes. So with this start, Jabs can set up for the team here.
That he certainly can. It's always the thing with the offlane Prophet. Like, you might underestimate it because it's not running that pos 1 role, but still can be super impactful in that position 3. Only 0-1 here in the favor of Talon. Very slight net worth lead their way. Most of the action happening at top lane, but both sides really just deciding they just want to farm up for now. Not really too interested in trying to force any fights. Of course, talking about the mid lane again as well, nothing to say. Currently top of the CS board, 27-5 on the Ember. Makoto not doing too badly, is 18-1, but is still just a little bit behind the Ember's bottom lane. Shiro again going to be focused down, and he is gone. They've got the Alchemist another time, and it goes back to that tag team. Q just runs in with the shards, gets the tag team up, and Jabs just always has the follow-up damage.
Yeah, again, it's just a relatively straightforward lane to run. There's not much you can do here on white to stop that. Really, how can I lie, a pretty atrocious lane for Shiro. He is 8-0, 9-0 on an Alchemist. I mean, this hero just wants to hit creeps, man. He's not able to do so. It's not a great feeling. And just, it's compounded by the fact that you've got offlane Doom. Like, you've got two heroes that just want to farm. And your Doom is off to a better start, at the least. It's not like he's going to be playing early with that farm, though. It's going to be Midas, BKB, Blink until you're ready to go. So there's a lot of time coming out from this laning phase where LGD will have to just sit back and try to build up. Maybe play with nothing to say, but your other cores are going to be ready to follow you up there.
Certainly so. You look at this top lane again, like, I love this Omni pick against the Phoenix, because you always get so much value with the Heavenly Graces. Bottom lane again! Shiro's gonna drop. Q will give his life away for that, but that's the third death for the Alchemist this game. Jabs having such a good time, 2-0-1 on the Nature's Prophet. And man oh man, I mean, this is... I know we said it was an Alchemist game, John, but it doesn't really feel like an Alchemist game right now, I'll tell you.
That's really the big issue with a hero. You get a good aggressive lane setup from Talon, like lane. You pick it into the NP.
Oh, Q, he's so good with these rotations. He'll just move in, ult 11 to drop. This is why you don't allow this man to have the task. If they do get 3-man stunned up top lane by the Centaur, won't really matter though. Talon currently 1-4. Again, very slight net worth lead because the saving race being that nothing to say is farming extremely well. But that's pretty much it. Like, the Ember's the saving grace right now. Nothing to say has all the pressure on his back at the moment.
He is hitting his early item spikes, though. Orb of Corrosion's up. So every Sleight of Fist is extra painful. He's got the value point in the Searing Chains to try to pin someone down like Mikado here.
Coil.
Mikado's going for a play, though.
They are going to move in with jabs as well. Q to rush in with the tag team. Snowball to hold him down, and nothing to say. Will drop very, very quickly. Talon just consistently so aggressive with this draft. And, well, John, you said earlier you were hoping it wasn't going to be a slow game from Talon. That it is not. Savage. Top lane, he's going to have the heals coming in. You cannot fight through that Heavenly Grace. The heals are just way too high. He will be just fine, and Ollie just making it in the nick of time to make sure Savage does not go down. And like I was just saying a moment ago, John, Talon, they are playing at quite a fast pace so far.
Again, with Talon, it's like either or. It's either they play a really fast game, or they're going to play a really slow game. And right now, they're kicking it into gear. You know, they're finding these openings. Good scan out from LGD should prevent any further jets for Shiro. I see it, but he's not safe.
Shiro. Not Shiro again, please. Oh, he jukes out the stun as well. Makoto, it's the easiest juke of his life, and jabs. He's not even there, but he'll take the kill. He was literally just hitting the tier 1 bottom tower. Spams and Nature's Wrath. Gets the kill done. And now, well, the bottom tier 1, it is as good as gone. There is no protecting it.
That is extra painful for LGD. You're gonna have limited farm space for the Alchemist to just sit back and build up. And Shiro, bottom network core now, like, he's below Q's network. That's how rough this game is for LGD right now.
They've rotated Planet in for this park. Makoto's just going to back off, but the remnants are there from nothing to say. He can't lock down Makoto, and Jab's even threatening to TP in to help out here with a fight. Q is going to get caught trying to secure some bounty runes. He'll move in onto Y. Jabs does move in, and now the Dream Coil.
No.
Nothing to say, he's trapped up. Oh, nothing to say. He's getting baited by his own team. Y will be chased down. He's gone to boot. Talon are just destroying LGD at the moment. Oh, boy.
It's rough. It's also down to this draft. Like, you have a support Phoenix and a support Silencer. There's just no control. We talked about this early on in the drafting phase, but you have no ways of really forcing these fights out until these ults are up, until you've got the threat of Egg and Global Silence, and that's still a ways off for this duo.
Makoto, he's going to drop low, nothing to say. Ollie is there with the heals out, and the orb away is going to be there. He is fine, as now Planet.
Oh boy.
Planet try to come in and secure the kill with the Icarus dive damage, but it's not enough, and now nothing to say! Oh, he'll get a Sleight of Fist Remnant, he's alright! He'll outplay them on the side of Talon. That's what you wanted to see from LGD. Nothing to say, he has to play on the edge to make that happen.
They have to take these risks. There's just no way. Like, you have to try to punish when Talon does group up like that. They save Mikado, but it cost them 3 lives. Big kills coming out for LGD. Bonus side is Shiro was also around to soak up some of that. So your Alchemist does get a good injection. He's pushed past Q's network. So it's not as scary as it once was. You're still at a 2k deficit, but you know what? The farm distribution is not too bad.
They have the damage output for nothing to say this time around. He gets a Sleight of Fist Remnant towards the right side, but the chase is still ongoing. He'll bottle up the Snowball. He's going to be there in Q. Will ensure they do secure the Ember's life. So a bit of revenge back the way of nothing to say is why now getting bloody blocked up by Jabs, and Jabs will just destroy him as Planet's trying to run. He does have Icarus dive up. He's just waiting to make sure he can get away. The Q's also waiting. He'll go for the punch out into the Snowball, and Planet will drop.
No, not more.
Old 11. Oh no. I mean, he literally ran towards this dude. Old 11's like, hey, what are you doing? Get away from me.
Yeah, this is why you don't let Mikado play puck. He's been tearing it. He's been tearing it in the DPC. I mean, he's always been good in his hero, but my god, he's just carried so many games for Talon off the back of this hero. And the whole of Talon really just playing as such a well-oiled machine right now, whereas for LGD, it's not that their movements are wrong, it's really just the fact that you're playing the slower game. Yes, it's an out game. That has a positive and negative connotation. This time it's a negative out game where you're not top net worth as the Alchemist, your bottom net worth core, you will have a bounce back, but it's going to take time. And look at Talon, smoked up again. They know they just can't afford to give any space to LGD, so they just keep hunting.
They are. Into the Radiant Triangle they go. They're not going to find anyone there yet. Let's occupy the area for a little bit. PSG LGD realizing that they are probably in their own triangle will draw out lines showing that they do exactly know that. So Talon instead will show up in the mid lane. Nothing to say does have basically his whole team behind him if they did intend on making a jump, and they will not. They'll leave the Ember B this time around. And instead Talon, they'll go back into the mid lane and just start pushing out the wave. Q, still in the triangle, will spot out Planet, but does want to back off. He doesn't want to fight on his own, obviously. Old 11 going to see the Tusk as well, but doesn't have anything like a blink to try to make a jump in. Power runes are going to spawn up. They're making the jump in on the Ember once again, but there is help incoming. Global Silence will be popped. Savage even shows up, but there's going to be a double stun out into the egg. It's going to be a fair bit of damage. Q has already gone down. Savage is going to be able to run outside of the range, but they have lost their Tusk, and Talon will find nothing for it.
Pretty costly kill. All things considered, it's Global Silence and Egg Down. Those are two massive cooldowns. Again, the two tools LGD has to force these teamfights outside of this Doom now available on Old 11. So Talon on the respawns could just look to group up, go on the hunt once more, and knowing that these spells are down, there's not much that's going to stop them if they do decide to make a play happen. We'll see. Planet.
Savage gonna find Planet. Fire Spirits will save his life. Problem is Q is there to cut him off, and what a chance to come out from Q. Not only does he damage Planet, but he blocks in Old 11. That's called value for your shards.
Yeah, he's on a roll. 5 to 15. They have Savage around to soak up that kill as well. He's farming into his blink. I believe last time he had the Desolator queued up as well, but understanding that he probably doesn't even need the damage output. He just needs a way to be on top of these enemy heroes to follow through on, say, jabs and Mikado and their mobility. So it's all kind of lining up for Talon. Whereas for LGD, the bright side here is that you are getting room for Shiro to farm. He's now #1 on his team's net worth, so he has bounced back. Again, recall a while ago, he was below Q's farm. Has to be a bit cautious, though. Let's tell him. Always just kind of on the hunt here.
Yeah, that they are. Shiro just being given zero space here to farm. He does at least now have the Sacred Relic coming out, so almost the Radiant's done down the Arc. Not going to be the most amazing timing, that's for sure, for an Alchemist, but it's something. It'll allow him to kind of join in and fight and obviously escalate in terms of that net worth. Mid lane, Makoto's going to be spotted. He'll just orb away. He just wants to clear out the creep wave. Ollie was just behind him in case they needed it. It's all about making sure this Alchemist can't farm the jungle. Shiro very patiently is just farming the bot lane, trying to be as cautious as possible to not get caught out once again. But here they come. Talon, they're going to move their way in. Q is there. Chance to block the way. Shiro, he's still going to get there though. He's alright. They do force 2 more to rotate down bot to try and help out. And in fact, PSG LGD, they have everyone up top, or rather at bot right. All 5 heroes to make sure this Alchemist does not go down. Really find anything out of these numbers, but they just want the safety in numbers. They just want to make sure Shiro's hitting creeps.
Yeah, you just want to enable your Alch as best as you can. And one issue is that Talon's farming really effectively with the NP, and they go for another smoke play out here.
That they do. LGD on their word here.
Under attack.
On a bot lane, Old 11 going to be targeted. They'll make the jump in with Makoto, forcing another TP rotation in. That was cancelled off, so they know it's going to be a 4v5 if the fight does begin. Alan, kind of being surrounded here by LGD. Savage, he saw the silencer. He'll move in immediately. Wise going to get stunned up, and Q will just blow him up with the Walrus Punch. No global silence to come out. Alan looking for a little bit more, but unable to find it. Meanwhile, Q, he's going to show up top lane. It's like Jabs has found the Alchemist, wanting to try and chase down Shiro. Shiro just about has the Radiant. He's selling items to get the gold. Q's going to move in, though. He might be too late. Shiro, run! Oh, he's
no.
not gonna make it. He was selling his items to try and get it. Nothing to say. Forced a remnant out. Planet also running. Should be fine. He basically had nothing else left to sell, John. He had a ring of protection if he really wanted to.
so easy, actually.
It's one of those things. He needs to rush in that Radiant. You know, he needs to get that farm game going, but it's just not online yet. And Talon, their movements have just been very precise. Like, they play around that area. Savage doesn't opt to jump the Phoenix. They gun for the Silencer. They know they've got to take out Global Silence while they don't have any Dispel to take these fights.
Oh, he doesn't want to break the leash. Wants to just hold on. He can't take that damage right now. Still trying to run. Nice shards block Q. Not going to allow it. Will block the pathing. Meanwhile, mid lane, another fight breaking out. 23 Savage being chased down right now, but nothing to say. But he's going to be okay to back off. They can't really deal with him while Ollie's right behind him on the Omni Knight. There's just way too much healing coming in. It's just such a tough game. At least now you do have that Radiance, John, but at this point it's more of a farming Radiance than anything. Like, you just got to hit creeps with it. And in the meantime, Talon, they're just going to rush Roshan with this.
They've got the output, they've got the summons, they've got the tag team. Doesn't take too long to melt that Roche. LGD don't really have control on that side of the map anymore. Can't really scout beyond their triangle. So a freebie take for Talon. You're going to have 3 heroes for 2 lives. Like, Mikado with the Aegis just means he can make these riskier plays happen all the time now. On the side of LGD, the most success we've seen from them is when they can connect Global Silence use with the Egg. They just haven't been able to clump up around that. Like, we haven't even seen a Doom come out from Old 11. He's just not been able to be in a good position to find these heroes he'd want to kill. And if you're not able to really commit the Doom, again, you're just stuck with like 2 supports plus the Ember that can't really hold heroes down just yet.
He's going to try to move in on his own here, John, the Ember. They aren't going to throw out the coil. Seems like nothing to say, going to be just fine to back his way out. Meanwhile, though, Jabs kills off Planet down a bot lane. Jabs, once that Wrath of Nature hits, it's just so much damage flying right across the map. It's down to the bottom tier 2 tower. Not really much in the way of stopping Jabs if he wants to commit to this, and seems like he will.
A nice simple shove in from the NP, full BKB up and running for Jabs. So the only thing that can really stop him is a post BKB Global Silence, if possible. And again, that's always a little bit dicey right now. They are at least in a position to take top here on LGD, so they might be able to open up control on that top jungle. But they're TPing in for the defense.
They are. I mean, why not? You know you're the much stronger team at the moment. Why not force the fight? LGD, they don't have the draft to go for the fight. Q's having to look around with the shards, won't find anything. Shiro, keeping in the tree line, is going to be okay. Everyone else from LGD, they do get themselves out just fine. They won't even find a top tier 1 tower. I mean, this is just how desperate things are right now for LGD. Just no opportunities, nothing for them. And Talon, they are not stopping. They are still chasing heroes down. You see how confident Savage is, knowing the Omni's right behind him. He knows he can't die. Like, this reincarnate's doing nothing for him because he just won't die. Shiro, get the ulti off and run. Savage, he's just so confident, John. I don't think he's reincarnated once this game.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't needed to. He's just been in a really good position this entire game.
Planet.
Oh,
yeah. No. That's a 2-shot right there.
Yeah, that's without the Desolator up and running too from Savage just yet. So it's gonna get worse before it gets better here for the side of LGD. He did smoke up. Not gonna be able to find anything off the back of it. 5 to 20 Talon's way. As Jabs leaves the ring of Aquila here for Savage as well. So a nice little 11 for him.
Old 11 in trouble down a bot lane, is still trying to run, but Snowball is going to connect from Q. Global Silence pop to try and make sure he survives, and he will for now, but in the meantime, everyone else is just dying. Old 11, nothing to say, is gone. Jabs, he's going to stand his ground and hit the egg. Does he have the damage? Oh, he does. Oh boy, it's a 4-for-2 trade in the favor of Talon once again. The only survivor is Shiro, who's currently being ignored on the Alchemist. And they're onto the bottom tier 3 tower.
Oh man. I love that little play from Jabs. In that chase, when he lost vision of the Doom running up the stairs, he just starts to right-click anyone, looking for that proc in the Maelstrom. Finds it in the end. Like, Old 11 was trying to actually use Doom. That would have been his first Doom of the game. He couldn't even get it off there. It's not feeling good for LGD, and it's just such a shortcoming of this draft.
You know who's not feeling good right now? John Ishiro. He's died again.
Oh boy.
Yeah. One of those games. 23 now. He's got the full deso up, so just gonna blink in and just one-hit somebody, I'm sure, very soon. Jumps in, nothing to say, gonna pop the Blade Mail. That should protect him for now, but the rest of the team is just gonna move in with the Snowball, but they're dealing so much damage to themselves. They've basically killed themselves here. Savage, he'll just reincarnate though. He doesn't care. He'll die once. Makoto will hand over his Aegis. He doesn't care either. Savage, on 11, he's down.
Oh, Makoto.
They even found Planet. Makoto's not done. He's just diving base now. Props to LGD for not calling GG yet, but with a draft like this, it's kind of hard to see them coming back.
Yeah, they just got outpaced. Like, this draft from LGD desperately needed to win their side lanes really hard. And that's what we said early on. If they don't win the side lanes, it just gets crushed so easily with all the space you lose out on. Even the Fountain, it doesn't feel like it's enough to save wide. Barely makes it out from Mikado's poking. Once that Arak's done, they could gun for another. They don't have the Aegis protection left on Mikado, but that was also perfectly timed on the usage. You only had maybe less than a minute left on that. Got the full AC up and running for Jabs now. So he's a lot more durable as well coming into this. The blink from Q can be impactful in getting some saves. LGD will try to smoke play out though. They know Reincarnation was taken out. They know Aegis is down. They've got an opportunity. They've got all their big teamfight spells ready.
Here we go. LGD. I mean, they're smoked around. They've got no vision. So it's very hard to know who to jump. Closest target to them is Ollie at the moment, but they can't see him. In fact, they did see him, but they won't make the jump in on the Omni. Anna Smoke is there from Talon. A 5-man, in fact. They'll head down towards the south. In fact, never mind. They're going to head west. Around the Radiant Triangle is where they'll go. Kind of going the wrong way if they want the team fight against LGD, but they're kind of lacking the vision on LGD at the moment as well. And LGD, they do draw out the circles. They know exactly where Talon are at the moment. Planet may show himself here. Fire Spirit's just being thrown out to try and clear the creep wave. Savage looking to just try and move in for an easy kill. Planet eventually does get caught out and just gets one hit by Savage. And there goes Y as well. In fact, they even found another. It's going to be old 11, just trapped up in the shards. I mean, you buy back on the silencer, but he doesn't even get a chance to press R. I imagine right now, Jonathan, our coaches are having very different faces on at the moment. I imagine Sunbee's looking very happy and Zhao 8's looking very displeased.
Oh, for sure. A happy Sunbee is quite the sight to see, because he always has this very neutral expression. So to see him smile is probably a gift to Talon. They probably, yes, no slipper today, boys. No slipper. You know, we're not getting whipped today.
I mean,
and they should have 7-3-1.
Anyway.
No, he's not. He's not. He probably has something he's upset about on Twitter or something. The guy really needs to... the crazy thing is, we talk to Sunbeam, and it's like, no, I enjoy it. I enjoy getting angry in social media. I'm like, oh my god, you're a sick man, Sunbeam. He's super chill as well. It's just, on Twitter, he's just like a degenerate or something. Not really degenerate, but he's just something else. Still, this is something else for LGD as well. I mean, again, we talked about their previous years. They beat Tundra 2-0. Right, they get quite the high from that, and then you go into Talon, who again, a lot of people probably don't rate too highly. Before Lima Major came out and performed well. Another smoke attempt out. They have all those spells still ready.
Well, they're gonna find Q. Q chained up. He's gonna get perma-stunned, and they do find him. Nice little pick up there for LGD. Not the biggest kill in the world, but right now, considering their circumstances, it's certainly better than nothing.
And you'll take it. You have to take it. You get the blink up on Old 11, so perhaps now we'll actually see our first Doom usage. This is big. If they catch someone like Mikado playing overconfidently here, that turns the game.
I mean, Savage is the one that's playing overconfidently, John. You can tell he's about to jump in, and there you go. There's your blink. Enjoy. You can blink when you respawn on 11. Egg is out. It will go all the way, but nobody's going to make the jump in. They're just out of range of it anyway. And in they go. They know Egg's down. They'll just make a jump. Jabs. He's in onto Shiro. Shiro's literally doing 0 damage.
Oh my god.
GG. 0 damage. He's got Radiant's BKB at 26 minutes as an Alchemist. That's how bad this game's gone for LGD. I mean, what do? They try to make this unique kind of draft work in this current meta. It doesn't work out for them. They practically lost every lane but the mid lane. I think Nothing to Say was the only person who won out the mid lane, but that was pretty much it. That's all that went well for LGD, and well, as you can see by the graphs, John, on the screen right now, it just went all downhill from there.
Yeah, the rough thing for LGD is that they had all these ways of getting answers, right? Like they last picked the Alk when it felt like you had options like the Drow there, you had options, so many other options that are ranged or just much more in meta cores. And they lock in the support duo of Phoenix and Silencer as well. Like it doesn't give you control. And you already picked Doom on offlane. So your team fight had to rely on Global Silence and Egg, which when we did see Connect in that mid fight, it did work out. That was the only circumstance LGD managed to use that combo effectively. And Talon, they come out, they pick up the first pick, this Nature's Prophet, and, well, I mean, it works for Talon, so Steam's gonna have to, well, maybe look at that, but it works out for Talon in this case, and for LGD, they have to rally. You know, they need to still climb up, they need to still solidify their position here in the group stage. If they can get a draw, that keeps them steady. But for Talon's side, if they find a win, again, just one win, 1-1 series, probably maybe guarantees their top 4 almost. So a lot in the line for both sides here, Mike, as we step into game 2.
I mean, is there anything in particular you want to see changed up for the draft of LGD? Because obviously this draft is something that you don't get to see very often.